start with the number one thing. And the number one thing is the big thing. The number one, the biggest thing, the biggest reason why the Mavericks and people are picking the Mavericks is it's that simple. It's that simple. It is that simple. It's Luka Doncic. He's playing at an MVP level. Whether he's going to win the award or not, he is playing MVP basketball. He is at an MVP level. On FanDuel, Jokic is minus 700, which is like a real heavy favorite. Luka is plus 500, and I remember him being like plus 1,000 recently, plus 1,100 recently. SGA has moved all the way down to plus 2,500, so that's a huge gap. Huge gap right there. Bigger gap between Luka and Jokic, there's a bigger gap between Luka and SGA than there is between Luka and Jokic. So, Luka, why is he playing at MVP level? And let me kind of make the case for Luka for MVP too while I'm at it. Luka has done the most for his team. The most. He gets double teamed the most. He has the highest usage. Luka, 35.5 usage. SGA, 31 usage. Jokic, 28 usage. Luka has the highest usage, and he gets double teamed the most out of anybody in the league. From second spectrum data, the most blitzes off of pick and rolls. So Luka has the ball. Lively, Gafford, PJ, whoever, Kyrie sets a screen for him, and it gets doubled off the pick and roll. That's where Luka sees the most double teams. It's not he gets the ball in isolation and then gets double teamed. Like, just not a smart way to play basketball against Luka. But off of the blitzes off pick and rolls, Luka, 418 times he's been blitzed off of pick and roll this year. I'm going to do a lot of these numbers just comparing Luka, Jokic, and SGA. But Luka has 418 times he's been blitzed off of a pick and roll. Number 2 in the NBA, Anthony Simons, 213. Like half. Luka gets blitzed off pick and rolls double what anyone else has. Now, yes, he's running a lot more pick and rolls than some of these other guys, but Brunson, our old friend, 198. He's third. Damian Lillard, 183. Devin Booker, 173. Don't double that guy. Anthony Edwards, 144. Steph Curry, 143. Like more, like double and sometimes triple more than anyone else in the NBA. And SGA is down at 105 times. He's been blitzed off of pick and roll. And SGA has played more games than Luka. Jokic, he doesn't run the same pick and roll, so you can't really compare those one-to-one. But off of post-ups, Jokic has been doubled or blitzed 89 times off of post-ups. Luka gets blitzed and doubled more than anyone else in the NBA. He's doing the most for his team. Leading the NBA in scoring right now. 4 more points a game than SGA, 8 more points a game than Jokic. Luka has had 5 30-point halves this season, where he's had 30 points in a half. 24 minutes of basketball play. The Mavs are 4-0 in those games, and 5 30-point halves is the most in the NBA since Luka did it last year when he had 5 as well. He's doing the most, scoring the most, getting doubled the most, blitzed the most, highest usage. Playmaking, Luka, 3.5 more assists per game than SGA. Huge difference. Don't listen to ESPN. Well, they'll tell you that he's leading the league in assists. Stephen A. Smith said that on accident today. He meant steals, but he said SGA's leading the league in assists. He's like, not even in the top 20. Luka, almost 1 more assist than Jokic as well. Playmaking, scoring, doing the most, all that. Clutch record. When Luka plays, the Mavs in the clutch, 19-7. Jokic and SGA both are 22-11 when they play. That's a worse record than 19-7. Luka better in the clutch, or at least his team has been better in the clutch. Talk about overall record, go for it. But in the clutch, when it matters, when you got the star, Luka's team has been better. The Mavs without Luka are 3-6. And Jokic and SGA haven't missed as many games, but without them, SGA or the Thunder are 1-2 without SGA, and the Nuggets are 2-1. That's like such a small sample size. Team continuity. Talk about like who he's played with, who Luka has played with. Not even counting the trade. Like the trades have changed things, yes, for sure. But even before that, Luka had to deal with a lot of injuries, had to deal with a lot of people in and out, trying to figure out the lineups and all that. Here's a stat that kind of blew my mind. The most used 5-man lineup with Luka this season has played 122 minutes. The most used 5-man lineup with SGA this season has played 782 minutes. The most used 5-man lineup with Nikola Jokic has played 895 minutes. Almost 900 minutes. And Lucas has played 122. Continuity. He's playing with different guys all the time. All this different stuff. It's easier to play when you've played with these guys for a long time, when you've got the continuity. Luka is doing the harder thing. Use that against him, sure. Like, oh, well, but the continuity, it's not his fault. It's injuries. It's guys being in and out. It's trades. It's the changing of the team makeup. It's all that kind of stuff. Kid trying experiments and with different things, trying to figure out what works for him. Luka's doing a harder thing than these other two guys. Doesn't have the luxury of getting to play with the same guys every night. And mentioned injuries. I went through rotation players playing about 18 minutes a game or more. I went through those players. How many games missed from the rotation players of the Mavs, the Thunder, and the Nuggets? Ready for this? Luka's team, 132 missed games between Kyrie's 22, Lively's 19, Green's 20, Maxey's 37, and Exum's 26. 132 missed games between all those guys. I didn't even include Gafford and PJ Washington. Didn't even include them. Nuggets, without Jokic, 37 missed games. Murray's missed 21. That's a big one. So you can't do Kyrie's missed a bunch of games. Murray, same thing. SGA and the Nuggets, 31 missed games. That's it. Mavs have 100 more missed games among their rotation players. And of the Thunder's 31 missed games among rotation players, Kenrich Williams counts for 13 of those. That's almost half. So Luka is doing the harder thing. More players have missed time, playing with less continuity, better in the clutch, scoring more, assisting more usage, double team more, harder. Everything Luka has done has been harder, and he's had these MVP moments. He's 19-7 in the clutch, shooting 45, 40, and 76 in the clutch. He's had the 73-point game, huge. 50-point game, 15-assist game on Christmas against the Suns, massive game. That was before the trades. That's before the Mavs were playing great. He had the 49-point game with the flick shot to win the game against Brooklyn at the beginning of the season. You remember he was pinned up against the right side of the sideline and hit the game winner. He had the 31-point first half against Houston to break their 11-win streak. And he's had big wins against the Nuggets. He had 37-10. Against the Timberwolves, they won. He had 34-8. Against the Thunder, he had 32, 8, and 9 in just 31 minutes. Beaten Sacramento twice. He's beaten Phoenix twice. He's had big wins, MVP moments, doing the harder thing. Luka Doncic, MVP. That's his case. And for all those reasons, in the Fantastic Four, he's Mr. Fantastic. So he can do anything. Put him in any situation, double team him, blitz him, this lineup, that lineup, this guy out, doesn't matter. He's Mr. Fantastic. He's can extend to whatever level you need him to. Questionable before the game time decision with his knee, he'll go out there and score 30 and a half. He's Mr. Fantastic. Doesn't matter.